aware of my rights as a citizen is not a threat. To inform the board or planning commission that I have every intention to exercise those rights as I see necessary is also not a threat. In fact, it's my constitutional right, as upheld by the constitutional case law of Sullivan versus New York Times, for the Supreme Court opinion that America's profound national commitment to the principle that debate on public issues should be uninhibited, robust, and wide open. That free and open debate about the conduct of public officials, the court reasons, is more important than occasional honest factual errors that might hurt or damage officials' reputations. I would like to formally request that Mr. Carnett's comments in regards to the Planning Commission being threatened be removed from public record as they were willfully inaccurate. I would like to remind you that you took an oath accepting this role by stating that you would uphold the U.S. Constitution and the Michigan Constitution, and it is your responsibility as our representatives that you ensure that those that you have appointed do the same. Article 1, Section 1 of the Michigan Constitution states that all political power is inherent in the people, government instituted for their equal benefit, security, and protection. You may be aware that there is a movement in this country, this state, and right here in this county that citizens are no longer willing to stand quietly while our rights are removed. And I may be the loudest person in this room, but I do not stand alone. The responsibility and duty of this board, the Planning Commission, and to whom you appointed to adhere, is to adhere to the will of the people, and it is not to adhere to the demands of big corporations. Approximately 21 unique landowners have signed some sort of land agreement with Apex in this township. That comes to about 42 registered voters. Some of those leases don't even live in this township. With a population of registered voters of roughly 2,800 people, that's 1.5% of your population, assuming every single leased landowner on this list was in favor of wind turbines. It's time that this township stops playing games with this ordinance. It's time the board holds the Planning Commission accountable to do the job they were appointed to do.
Thank you.
Amen.
Public comment concerning old business.
I'm going to continue on the theme because I was a part of that as well. The Montcalm Township Board meeting of 10/13/2021 in Hellas, Montcalm Township. I call the point of order. Dick Carnett's, and it is legitimate to call the point of order.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's law.
It's legitimate.
No, it's not.
Dick Carnett, it is legitimate. Please don't interrupt my 3 minutes. I call a point of order on that.
Okay.
Dick Carnett's personal opinions were expressed during the wind portion of the PC meeting. I don't believe Dick should have been giving that report, the wind portion. Jeff should have come, Jessica could have given it, Bob could have been invited to give it. I don't believe Dick should have been giving it at all. Here are some quotes that Dick made that all express opinion. They made a little bit of progress, but not a lot. You've already heard that. 2, I think that future needs, I think, that's opinion, that's not report, that the future needs to be maybe December, because I think they need to have something to present to you. So you kind of know where it's heading. Then came the big one. These are all quotes. One that kind of bothered me, now that is clearly opinion, a little bit, was the Planning Commission was basically threatened that no matter what they put together, if the people didn't like it, they would do a referendum. If you don't believe me, you can go to YouTube and watch it. And to me, that is not acceptable. Purely opinion. We are talking about the wind portion. Dick shouldn't have even been saying that. And if you turned around and looked, his body language was totally opinion. It was not calm. It was not like Rochelle presents what she presents. And I call the point of order, and I expressed that that was an opinion, not a report, and the chairperson told me not now. Well, when you call a point of order, it's got to be taken care of now. You don't do it at the end of a meeting. You said the chairman said he's giving a report, nothing else. I also had support from Robert Scott, who also called a point of order. I again stated I call a point of order and was not given the opportunity to express the reason. Dick is recused introduced and he's giving an opinion on wind portion of the PC meeting. And then he gave us a miniature lecture on the treatment of the PC members. He finished by saying that he was done commenting. And we did have a valid point of order. And I wasn't the only one. A lawyer also called point of order, and another person, I think possibly Rodney Nett, I don't remember exactly who it was behind me.
Okay, thank you. Now, comments concerning old business.
I'm not sure, or my comments for here, or when you actually get to the old business, but, just to give everybody an update, we've actually ordered, under the future giant, green giant arborvitae trees, and they have all been planted on the property, completely along the north side of the property and east side of the property. I have email pictures,
Yeah.
Yep, okay. But just wanted to come in and let you guys know that we are right in line with what we said we were gonna do.
That's why I put it on the agenda.
Thank you. You're doing what you said you were doing.
Yeah, I have a question.
Wish they would
Go
be that
by,
way.
reports, concerning reports, comments, because I had a couple of questions
On the report?
on the reports.
Okay.
The payment of bills, the Mercantile Bank of Michigan, what is that for? $7,000,
That's a part of our bond cost.
okay? And then, also you have BSNA software, but then you also have Apex software. So can you explain, I know what the BSNA software probably would be, but I'm not so sure about the Apex.
It has something to do with her stuff, roses. One, I think, is for, I don't exactly know if I do. I know that, the Apex is an annual fee, and the BSNA is also an annual fee.
So it's all for the treasurer's,
Yes.
section?
Yes.
Okay, and then also Holiday Beach, is that a person or what is that?
That is a refund. They rented the hall and they got charged and their check was cashed and it shouldn't have been.
And then, I wanted to mention to, Doug, normally the procedure for a motion is a second and then discussion before you vote. I've been noticing that you skip discussion, and I would like to hear discussion. I would like to hear what some of the other people on the board think before you vote.
They always can.
You usually call for discussion.
Okay, procedure wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyhow,
Hold on, Karen has one.
Yeah, I wanna ask Jessica, are you any further ahead at trying to find out why the headstone is on my cemetery lot?
I have talked to Patton and I talked to, Randy, and no, I don't have an answer yet.
Have you talked to Heckman's?
Randy is Heckman.
Oh, okay, and he doesn't know?
No, he doesn't know either.
Well, somebody put that headstone on one of my cemetery lots.
Right, and Randy says he didn't do it, so I don't know who did it.
Somebody had to give him permission to do it.
I did not give them
It
permission.
wasn't me, it wasn't
I
me.
did not give them permission.
Well, I think we should find out who. There's a name on the headstone, but I don't know if there's a burial there.
There's not a burial there, I think it's just a headstone and a foundation, cause I have never authorized Randy, I've never gone out there and marked a grave on your site. I've never marked a grave for your foundation, that foundation either.
Well, we can't find out who put it there.
If a different company put it on there and they didn't contact me, then no. I
Well, the
don't know.
foundation is one that looks just like the couple that are laying back by the trash bin at the back of the cemetery.
Them are pre-made and there's lots of people who use pre-made ones. That's what Randy uses, pre-made, and a lot of sextons do use pre-made. So Randy says he didn't do it. And I contacted Patton, and then I talked to, the one in Sheridan today, and she says that she didn't do it either.
And I called Lowell Granite and they didn't do it, they didn't make the headstone.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, I don't know if maybe label underneath of it, and have somebody lift it up and see if there's a label underneath it, who made the headstone?
Yeah, I think you need to do that, I think that's your job.
Yeah.
Somebody else.
That's
weird. That's their belongs to.
That's her family.
No, who does them belong to?
It's not my family.
But you told me that they contacted you and asked you if they could put something on there.
The mother of this, because I went to the obituary to find out who this was, the mother of this person whose headstone is there, was a half-sister to my husband, who we have not seen or talked to in 12 years. She had called to ask if she could put something on her father's headstone. He is buried on those lots.
Right, yes.
Other than that, I have no idea. There was no mention.
Okay. Well, we'll have. Alright. First thing I had on here was the chosen ones, and I just put them there to let everybody know that they're following through with what they say. The second item there is, we received a check for attorney fees and advertising costs from the Conservation District for the, river ordinance that they had passed. And that money come from them, but it was through the DNR for Eagle. Monroe Cemetery, stump grinding and tree removal has been completed. So, we're happy with that, I think. Cemetery storm damage insurance payment was received, that's for all the tree cutting and cleanup that we had to do. Township planner, I'm still trying to contact some of them. Haven't heard back on them yet. And then the last one is wind moratorium. The wind moratorium is up, I believe, December. Right? So, do we want to extend that?
Make a motion to extend it for 6 months.
Another 6 months? Do I hear a second?
Commission, one time.
Okay, any discussion? If not, motion's been made and seconded to extend the wind moratorium for another 6 months. Roll call.
Doug,
Yes.
Brian,
Yeah.
Ed,
Yes.
Jessica, yes.
Okay, public comment concerning new business. So everybody knows, I'll jump ahead, go ahead.
You kind of went from public comment after her not asking if anybody else wanted public comment on old business.
I thought I did ask. Okay,
My hand would have been up. So mine is more on old business. My name is Wendy Spatala, I'm from Douglas Township. And what I just really want to make you aware of, which I'm sure you're aware of, is the dangers of wind turbines. And I'm just gonna summarize this. There is a poster here somewhere that has, that is examples of other turbines with different heights. We don't know what's coming in. The bottom is what you need to really pay attention to. It gives you an example. A 300-foot tower with a 100-foot blade equaling 400 feet. The equation was done by a professor of physics and astronomy.
Astronomy.
Thank you. At Rutgers University. And just by that example, it's very reasonable to say that a 4 to 5 tip height setback is essential to keep citizens safe. Anything less than that is putting citizens in danger. And you can see we have fires. Fires can throw flaming debris. They just don't fall to the ground. They fall to the ground. It's possible that if it's a dry enough season, that can catch on fire. We also have collapse. That's blade failure. collapse?
In the back.
It's not that.
Oh,
Right here.
thank you. I don't know where these go when I hand them out. The tower can collapse at any point in the tower. Towers of 400, 500 feet, maybe not 500, 300, 400. Blade throw. Anyone can have that one? Blade throw. That is a blade. Now these blades are 100 feet or better, sitting on top of a building. And ice throws. Debris and ice throws, what that first one was, 150 miles an hour. Ice and debris can be thrown up to about 1,800 feet, and that was only on a 400-foot tower. Then you go into, where do these blades end up? Landfills. Do we know what's gonna happen to that soil in the future? No. I could not find any reports.
They don't do that anymore, excuse me, but they don't do that anymore.
Then what do they do?
They're ground up and used for cement, concrete, reinforcement.
They're still working on that.
That's in the
Well, that's
preliminary
the
stages.
proposal, that's what they're supposed to do.
But when you bury 8,000 blades a year, I don't think that industry can keep up. So yes, they are going into landfills, specifically landfills. So that's all I have to say, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, back over to new business. Any more old business?
I don't know if this is old business, new business, or whatever, but when you're talking about, a planner for the planning commission, I think that's what you're talking about, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I've been on the planning commission since the mid-90s continuously, or the ZBA, one or the other. I've been dealing with the ordinance for 25 years. I personally don't want the help of a planner. What I'd really like to have is access to legal advice regularly. So if there's some, I'd way rather see us spend money to get particular legal advice about a particular part of our ordinance than have somebody come in and give general advice. I know the general advice, I need the particular advice that only the attorney can grant. And again, that's something that's been missing from our township. I've served, Alvin Christensen first appointed me here. That's a long time ago, and I personally have never had access to an attorney that whole time, where I could call an attorney up and ask him a question about something, the ordinance, and I think it'd be really good if any board member had that access, and I think it should go through a supervisor, but it should go through somebody, but we should have access to get questions answered, and even maybe have them come to some of our meetings. I'd like to see money spent on that more than a planner.
Okay.
MTA has something. Yeah, do they have access to that, though? Can they call MTA, board number, or?
Okay, so,
No, that's.
not done,
What's that?
not done,
Not
to the
done,
board.
not done.
Okay, thank you for that input. New business, Dixon Lake Bridge. I got a call from, the road commission, actually yesterday morning. Funding is there for the bridge for next year. The good news, bad news is the township has to put up some money too. And I got told everybody that earlier this year while we put things together. The engineering cost was just under $30,000. Half of that will be us, 15,000. Construction portion of it, that is the road commission. They'll keep that as far as management and inspection. And most cost is $350,000 to $400,000. If they had to tore out the whole thing and redone it, it'd probably be $1.4 million, $1.5 million. So right now, the engineering has already started, and we're gonna get a proposal contract from the road commission. They were putting it together yesterday morning. Of the, construction costs, we were up for 5% of that, which would be about $20,000 at worst case. So just let you know, the it's still passable, but it's pretty tough.
Was there a total on that though? Make sure it's numbers, there was a total of the township figures on it, or?
Looks like anywhere from 30, I'm saying 35 to 50. What I did when we put our budget together, you remember, I put it in your packet. I put it under budget safety, put 85